Warning, radioactive zone detected. Please enter with Duende mood. Take a break and enjoy the show. This is Radio El Duende, your radio. Over.
We believe that Africa is one continent where the unity of this great continent is paramount. And this takes us on a journey to explore the beautiful country called Tanzania. During our research, we have opportunity to meet with one of the leaders in our community and also the elderly statesmen from Tanzania. And we have a conversation with Professor Francis Hyera. Join us as we put him on the spotlight.
Tanganyika, let me recall. It's like Tanga. Tanga is a place in Tanzania on the northern part along the coast. Even up to today, we have this Tanga. It's the region, and this region is having its own districts. And even myself, when I completed my standard 8 during that time, or standard 7, I passed the exam. After passing the exam, the national exam, then I was selected to go to a special secondary school, because we had some special secondary schools. And this special secondary school that I was given to go and study was an agricultural secondary school. Okay. And the school is Galanos African Agricultural Secondary School Trust, which it was under the Greeks. So I went to study there. So it's Tanga up to today. It's one of the areas where there is actually a very good port, Tanga port.
Okay. Yes. But you say some people, when they want to catch the witchcraft, they go to Malawi, and in Malawi they will write on their forehead Tanganyika. Can you explain that?
No, this is, it depends on the person who is actually the one who has been sent there to go for the witchcraft. If he was maybe caught that he is a witch, and because he's a witch, and more likely he is actually affected, or if not affected, he is actually maybe involved so much deeply in witchcraft, then he will be what? He will be written on his face, Tanganyika, to show that this guy is really so much intense in the witchcraft. So people should always be aware that this guy has really done so much in terms of damaging people in witchcraft.
So are they against the witchcraft, or they are promoting the witchcraft?
No, this is against the witchcraft. And that's why they are writing him on the face that when he goes back to Tanzania by today, by then it was Tanganyika. So when he goes back to Tanganyika, then they should know that this guy is really witchcraft intense, or a chief of witchcraft in terms of recognition. So even during the reception, people will be saying, hey, this guy, he was actually known to have maybe killed a lot of people, or affected a lot of people, or making sure that there are a lot of people who have been actually being affected by him.
Okay, let's talk about the Ugoni people that you say they moved from here in South Africa to Tanzania. So they are originally from here in South Africa. So they migrate to Tanzania. Can you give us, share some light on that?
This is actually, you can read it in history. And on this history is the migration of the Ngoni. In Tanzania, they call them Ngonis. But during the migration, these people moved from South Africa under a person called Umsolopogas. And when they were moving, going to the north, they passed through Zimbabwe, where they fought, and they managed to win their way. They passed through, then they went up to Malawi. They fought. After fighting with them, they were able to conquer them. And then from there, they went further north. They went up to Tanzania on the southern part. They called a place called Mbeya, where they fought with the Nyachusas and they conquered them. So they went further north up to the place called Iringa. Iringa is actually a region where they met the Hehe. The Hehe tribe was very tough under the chief Mkwawa. And Chief Mkwawa did not allow them to pass through. So Chief Mkwawa actually fought with them. He conquered them. After conquering them, then the Ngunis, or the Ngonis by then, started migrating, going almost like going east, where they went up to Songea. When they came to Songea, they were able to conquer the local people there in Songea. When they conquered them, they settled there, and then they started fighting again, going south towards Lake Nyasa. Although Malawians call it Lake Malawi, but Tanzanians call it Lake Nyasa. So when they were going there, they met with the Matengos. This Matengo is another tribe on the southern part. So they fought with them, and then they conquered them. So they came back up to Songea, where they settled in Songea under Chief Chaburuma. Chaburuma was actually the chief by then who was actually there in Songea. Even up to today, there is a monument in Songea, actually, which indicates as an indication of the Ngoni who were migrating, going on the south, and then they were conquered at that place. So we have some remnants in all these areas. If you go to Zimbabwe, you'll see remnants of the Nguni. If you go to Malawi, there are some remnants of the Nguni. If you go to Mbeya, there are few remnants because there they didn't stay long. If you go to Iringa, there's not really that will get them. But when you go to Songea, where now they settled, and up to today is one of the major tribes in Ruvuma region, the Ngoni. So if you talk about Ruvuma, actually you are talking about the Ngoni tribe, the major tribe. First president of Tanzania, President Julius Kambarage Nyerere, who actually united Tanganyika to have only one single tribe. He campaigned, and his campaign was actually well accepted. And now Tanganyika, if you go to Tanganyika, the communication is actually one major language, which is the national language, Swahili. We have English. English is a trade language. So not that we don't speak our local languages. We speak our local languages. Yeah.
Yeah, among the local language, which one is more common that people speak a lot, that almost everybody knows how to understand and speak it?
It's not easy to say because there are major tribes in every region. Okay. There are major tribes. Because if we go to the southern, let's say Mbeya. Mbeya, we have the Nyachusa. If you go further, we have the Fipas. If you go to Kigoma, they have Waha. If you go to Mwanza, we have the Sukumas. But the Sukuma actually are a bit dominant because if you go to Mwanza, you go to Shinyanga, you go to Tabora, actually a bigger tribe, which I can say is the Sukuma. And then if you go to Mara, there's another tribe, which is, what is that tribe? The Luos are in Mwanza, and I've forgotten some of them.
And all of them have so is the language a bit similar? Do they have?
No.
There's no similarity. There is no similarity. So it's not possible that you are from East region and you will understand what the South region is saying.
No.
So there is difference in the language.
Yeah, but luckily, if you go to the Mwanza, Tabora, Shinyanga, these are actually, they share almost the same, like similar language, okay? Because if you go to Tabora, the major language is Nyamwezi. But in Nyamwezi, the tonation and everything resembles the Sukuma and Mwanza. If you go to Shinyanga, they also speak Sukuma. So that's why the majority, I can say, the Sukuma almost like interacts in almost 3 major regions. If you go to Bukoba, there the major language is Haya. Haya is one of the major languages within the region. So these are some of the languages. If you go to Moshi, Arusha, there you can go get the Chagas. Chaga is a bit dominant in that area, but you cannot say it's a major language.
So which, like you say, they bring Zanzibar and Tanzania together to become Tanzania. So when Zambezi, or what is it called? Zanzibar. When Zanzibar is a nation, which language are they speaking?
Swahili.
Is it Swahili? Okay. So it's because they come together now, they are now using Swahili as a common language too.
No. You remember, initially even Tanganyika itself was using Swahili.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's why even before the union of Tanganyika and Zanzibar,
okay,
Swahili was already a language in Tanganyika.
Okay.
Okay. Even in schools, it was being taught as a language in schools. Yeah. It's only by then when there was now this union. So union was just like something like a catalyst. That Zanzibar they're speaking Swahili and Tanganyika they're speaking Swahili. So it became just a common language.
Oh.
And this was 1964.
Wow. So now when they now come together, like the region where you come from, your hometown, which language are they speaking and which one is the one that is more common in that region? Is the Swahili common or the local language common?
Swahili is common because if you go there are some minor tribal languages. But the common language there where I come from is called Mpoto. Mpoto is the language there where I come from. Or if not Mpoto, then Matengo. Matengo, these two languages do complement to each other. Okay? Yeah.
They are similar.
They are similar. Whatever, except just the tonation.
Okay.
You see, let's say if we want to say mango in mangoes in my local language, I will say yembe.
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 Okay.
Hembe. You see, but if you go to Matengo, you say hembe.
Hembe.
You see, so it's just the tonation. But the language is the same.
Okay. So tell us about where you born and where you grew up.
Well, I was born at a place called Liuli, but literally it's not Liuli. It is called Luwole, or a lot of people in our language will say Kuluwole. You see, the meaning of Kuluwole is actually teaching. Okay, so when you say Kuluwole, that means it's a place of teaching. This is the meaning of Kuluwole. It's a teaching place. And because when the white people came, they were not able to pronounce or to speak Luwole.
They cannot pronounce it.
They cannot pronounce it. So they just say Liuli, which is actually common even on the map today. You can Google Liuli, you will see it. But when you say Luwole, they will not know it. But locally, a lot of people in the region, they don't say Liuli. They say Luwole. Because that's the language that they use. So when you say Kuluwole, that means it is a teaching place. And it's true that Liuli or that Luole had so many schools. The importance of that place was having 3 major schools. We had a school for upper middle school for boys, which was called St. Paul's, and then upper middle school for girls, which was called St. Mary's. And then we had a hospital, which is St. Anne's Hospital, which was run by the Anglicans, and the doctors, most of them were coming from UK. And we had a third school, which is Liuli Extended Primary School, or St. Stephen's School. These are actually the major importance of that place, the so-called Liuli. However, it was also a place where ships used to be docking, and where fishing was also prominent. And besides that, actually, we had some shopping center, and a lot of people used to be coming to shop at Liuli, because people will be traveling all distances from Ngumbo, from Mbahad, traveling through up to Liuli just to come in for shopping. That's where most of the shops were. If you failed to shop at Liuli, then another shopping center was in Mbamba Bay. And another place where there was a good harbor was actually Mbamba Bay. So these are the areas where people actually used to be going for shopping. But Liuli was actually a major center because of the schools and the hospital which was there. And just to refresh back, almost the whole Nyanja region along the lake, the only major hospital was at Liuli.
So Liuli is more popular.
Yes, because of the hospital, and besides of the hospital, there was actually the center for the Anglican Church. So wherever there's some church issues and so, Liuli is where the Archbishop used to be coming. He will be traveling from Likoma Island, where the headquarters of Anglican Church was. And this headquarters was actually both for Malawi and for Tanganyika.
Okay.
So he will be traveling from Malawi and from Likoma in a very huge canoe, with people pedaling him. Then he will be coming to dock at Liuli, and then he will do his issues there at Liuli. Then they will start again pedaling the canoe, going to sometimes up to Mbaha, and then from there he will go up to Ndengo.
So Liuli is surrounded by water?
No, it's along the lake. Along Lake Nyasa.
Okay. So that Lake Nyasa now, what is it called now?
It is still Lake Nyasa for,
Okay.
for
Tanzania.
Yes,
But for Malawi?
Malawi, they say it's Lake Malawi, but that's how it is. But it's Lake Nyasa. So when you're in Tanzania, just say, I'm coming from Lake Nyasa, not Lake Malawi.
Okay, one of the things that we are trying to establish is your book that you are putting together now. The interesting thing is that you are putting it together to keep some memories and some history alive. So what is so unique about this book?
The unique of it is that, first of all, I want to explain my lifestyle.
Okay.
Since I was born up to this stage, I was born in a very rural, primitive area, and actually I was born in a small forest. You see, now being born from that small forest, and not even being taken to hospital after being born in that small forest, up to today, the way I started, the way I grew up, the way I studied, the hurdles that I went through, not having shoes, not having anything until when I was going to secondary school, the way I struggled through different secondary schools, where I went through up to today that I'm being called a professor. What challenges have I just actually been able to achieve or to have during this lifetime? That's number one. Number two, to give out the historical background of the customs, culture of our tribe, and what actually can you achieve when you are in the rural setups. And also to encourage the youngsters of today that they should not despair, because some of us, when you meet some hurdles or you have no one to support you, you start despairing that no, I cannot climb this mountain. There's no mountain that you cannot climb. It's only God. Once you are in God, He is the one who will actually be able to tell you, my son, my daughter, this mountain is climbable, so you can climb it. So there are a lot of things that I would like to highlight, especially when we go to schools. You will be going to school where today you are traveling for only 3 hours or 4 hours. But those days we are traveling for 1 week or so. You see, so
to go to school?
Yes. When I was going to like secondary school in Tanga, I was using 1 week on the road.
To get to school?
Yes.
So were you going to live in the school, or you go 1 week and
No.
stay there?
No. It is a boarding school. When secondary school, mostly in Tanzania, were boarding schools. Even today they are boarding schools, although they are trying to build a lot of day schools nowadays. But during our time, mostly it was secondary schools were boarding schools.
So you need to travel 1 hour before you get to the school?
Not 1 hour. I used to travel for 1 week.
1 week?
Yes.
So where, in the night, where do you sleep?
Just at the bus station. Bus station or railway station.
For the whole 1 week?
Yes.
So how many times in a year you do this?
It used to be twice a year.
So when you go in the January, you come back
on June.
So you go back in June, you come back in December. So what makes life more interesting to you then? Because there's no technology, there's nothing. So what makes life more interesting to you? What do you enjoy doing then?
Well, first of all, you get so many friends. You get good friends and bad friends. That's number one. Number two, that there's a principle saying mind your own business. And when you say mind your own business, that means you have to really mentally capable to handle issues on yourself, not depending on a colleague or a friend. Get an advice from a friend or a colleague, but don't take it seriously. You must weigh out, what I've been advised, is it really tangible to me? Is it really applicable to me? Is it really good for my parents at home or not? You see? Because the parents are looking at you like a golden boy or a golden girl. You see, and when you go back to the village during the holidays, actually even the villagers come to the village, to your home, to come and greet you. Some bring you chicken, some bring you fish. So that our son has come.
So that is where the adage of it take a village to raise a child, that is where it comes from.
Yes, these are some of the issues that actually the current generation is not knowing this. So we would like to actually portray, I would like to portray all these things that look where we came from is very different from where we are now. And that's why I say when we are going to be talking about culture, these are some of the issues that I would like to raise. But look, guys, we are actually lost. This so-called new generation or generational what, actually, we are not following where we come from. There's no respect today. Completely, there's no respect. If I tell you that I was being beaten by elders, not parents, elders.
In the village,
within the community. Once you have messed up, you are beaten.
The whole community will deal with you.
Not the whole community. Maybe one of the elders will deal with you. And he will be praised by the elders. He will be praised by your parents.
So there is check and balancing.
Yes. They will be praised by their parents, your parents. They will say, okay, that's very good. Like I can give you just very, very, very simple example. You are coming from the lake and you see an elder carrying fish. It's you as a boy or a youngster to carry that fish that this elder is carrying to his home. Not leaving him carrying that up to his home. And if you don't do that, the elders have seen you doing that. That means it's already a punishment for you that you are not disciplined. Or sometimes we boys, we used to be playing so much in the lake. And the elders will be saying, no, don't play so much in the lake because sometimes there are some crocodiles. So if the elders will be just sitting somewhere there observing, and if they see you guys playing for so a long time, one elder will say, no, boys, now you must get out. But usually you know how naughty we are as boys.
Don't listen. You
don't listen. So you will be continuing to play. And the elder will just come and pick up all your clothing. He will take up all your clothing. So you will have to get out of the lake. Now you cannot get your clothes until not to your house yet, naked. So you'll have to go to the elder so that you can get your clothing. And then when you are going there now, you are completely naked.
Wow.
And you get some strokes. Maybe 3 or 4 or 5. After getting that, then you get your cloth.
Is that one of the reasons that you achieved this so much in your own time to become a professor from that kind of humble beginning, and now you are a professor in the university? Is that one of the things that help you?
Well, it might have played a role because it shows commitment. Commitment. I was committed that I want to achieve. I was committed that there's no one who will help me. I'm the only boy, first, in the family. My father, my mother, they were all peasants. They didn't have an earnable income. So I have to struggle myself and make sure that what I do is actually not for my own benefit or for the benefit of almost everyone. Because like when I went for the first time to secondary school, the small money that I got, I had to buy a charcoal iron, I have to buy some salt, I have to buy some sugar, I have to buy... We didn't know what is tea and sugar, tea in our house until when I went to secondary school. If we want to to get some tea, maybe we were going to a friend. But when I went to secondary school, when I was coming back, I'll buy some sugar, I'll buy some tea bags, I'll buy some... a kettle, it was not an issue because they will just boil water. But cups for not these like today you have these good cups. No, with us there were those plastic cups. So this is the humble beginning that you come.
Not too fancy. Everything is
no.
But let's look at your community. Did they play any role when it comes to contributing to your education?
I can say they didn't contribute much, but I cannot also deny the role of the community. Because when you go to holidays, they will always come and say hi. They will always come and say, you must struggle hard, you must continue reading, you must do this, you see. Although in most cases they will be coming there when they live there, they will be supporting you morally.
Wow. All right, that is just the part one. We will continue, but let's just continue with what we are doing. Thank you.